Hi, friends, and welcome to my podcast. This is where I share my insights, and today I'm talking about the principles of unlimited supply. And I want to help you with unlocking the mindset of lack and to help you understand the fundamental principles of giving, which initially seem obligatory. But if we dig a little deeper, we can see that giving, when seen in the right mindset, is love. So stick around and we're going to talk about the principles of unlimited supply. When you were younger and you had siblings or you had to be around other children, you may remember how your parents encouraged you, if not reprimanded you, for being selfish. And I do think we need to teach children how to share. We need to teach children how to save. And we need to teach children how to give. So the sense of obligatory giving, which is mechanized in something called tithing. You may remember this from your Sunday school days. If you grew up going to Sunday school, you had to give your offering. And I never remember particularly liking that as a kid. That was my allowance. I worked for that money. But we had to, with these little envelopes, and we had to put the change in there. And my parents instilled in us the idea of saving money, and I think that is also an important concept here. So you may be under the impression that giving is karmic, in that to give is to receive. And while that is true to some extent, Jesus said, if you give with your right hand, don't let your left hand know. And this idea of uncoupling the transactional, mechanized nature of giving and connecting it to a different kind of mindset. So kids don't have this ability to understand the joy of giving unless they're really young. Little kids, little babies they don't understand mine, you see. So a little infant, maybe 8 months, 9 months old, or a toddler will give. Their fingers don't hold very, and they'll give you their cookie or their pacifier. It's the natural inclination is to give because the infant doesn't have a sense of possessiveness. However, as children develop into a more rigid ego, they start to learn what mine is. And so their parents come along out of the same egoic obligation to give, mind you. Well, we have to give to God. We have to, you see. So it's this mindset of forcing yourself to give because it's good. Because God's going to reward you when you get to heaven and that sort of thing. So there's no benefit to it now. One day, it'll come back to you in the form of a crown in heaven. It'll come back to you as a blessing, or it's just the right thing to do, and you should be generous. And so all of that is a kind of mechanized, transactional, guilt-laden giving. So it becomes a means to an end. It becomes reward-based when you give. And our whole culture is like this. Even higher education is like this. We go to school to get a diploma. We get a diploma to get a job. We get a job to get the income. We get the income to God knows what. And there's never a sense of fulfillment. There's one thing leads to another. So everything is a means to an end, which is an insidious cycle that never seems to quench itself. That is until you begin to realize that you are not just a individual receptacle of money. You're not a limited being with a few ideas, that you have just a few minutes to give to somebody, or you don't have any time to give. You don't have any skill to give. You don't have time to give. You have no ideas to give, and you have no shits to give. That's I don't give a shit. I don't give anything, right? That's what's called being an ingrate. And that's the sense of, well, I worked for this. This is mine. It is a complete sense of possessivity, which blocks real affluence. Real giving is out of a sense of being so fulfilled, so enthused, so bubbling with life, that the gift itself is a spontaneous act of love, not of expectation of transaction. You see. So you will come to a point where you realize you are not just a piggy bank. And what's in the piggy bank, that's all I have. And so how do you know you might feel like you have this sense of lack and you don't have this sense of unlimited supply? When you pay your bills, you go, there's that tension in you when you pay the bills. When you go to the grocery store, you say to yourself, this is such a ripoff. $3 for this, $10 for that. What a... You see, you feel like you're being ripped off. You feel like you're being cheated. When you hire the plumber, you think he's going to overcharge you. When you pay your taxes, you think the government is overcharging you. When you go to the good grocery store, you think, good grief, what do these people want from me? So, you develop a mindset of suspicion. You don't trust in the value that you're getting. You think you're getting ripped off. And that suspicion makes you cling and check and hoard. But Emerson helps us with this. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, that we go through our life, man will go through his life checking to make sure his neighbor does not cheat him. And then one day, he will wake up and realize, maybe I'm cheating my neighbor. And that right there will change your life. Because if you expect the plumbers ripping you off, if you accuse the grocery store of ripping you off, if you accuse people of not being fair or unjust, and that you invited them to your party and they didn't invite you to yours, it's all transactional. You are paranoid. And that paranoia leads to lack, leads to misunderstanding of who you are. That is until you start looking within and realizing, oh shit, I'm cheating my neighbor. And that's where appreciation comes in. A lot of people think gratitude is transactional too. Oh, thank you, God. If I say thank you, God, 10 times, I'm going to get something back. My reward. I'm just not grateful enough. I'm going to keep saying I'm going to say 100 Hail Marys this time and watch. Then the printing press is going to come. No. Appreciation, think of appreciation like a house appreciates. Think of praise rather than competition. Think of the appraisal and the appreciation. Raising the level of the inherent pricelessness of it all. You're in a mindset of there's just not enough. And what do I have to give? Until you realize that you're the ocean. And if somebody comes and takes a bucket away from the ocean, that's what's called a drop in the bucket. It's a drop in the bucket. What you spend at the grocery store is a drop in the bucket. The bucket doesn't have a bottom. See, that's the thing. You're a wave on top of the ocean, and you're wondering, where am I going to get more ocean? I just don't understand. How can I get more money? How can I get more time? It's just, just stingy and hoard and think people are cheating you, and the world is unjust. And you've got this sinister view, begging, transactional nature. Okay, I guess I better give. Maybe that's why I'm not getting anything in life. I'm not tithing. You know how many people tithe because they think it's the right thing to do? They should do it. Don't give me anything if you feel guilty about it. Do like my friend Robbie. Whenever he would give a present, he would buy two. One for himself. He would say his gifts were so neat. He got birthday presents. I miss him. He's no longer with us, but this lesson stuck with me. He said, if I buy something for somebody, it's something I'm going to buy for myself. He's thinking of himself. And when you give somebody something that you yourself love, there is generosity. Because you're doing it from a place of unlimited supply. When the ocean gives, it's not losing anything. And when the ocean gets, it's not getting anything. If somebody deposits something into your account, that's nothing. That doesn't make a difference to the ocean. So the ocean buckets are coming in and out. What's different is that the person in lack who goes to the ocean takes a bucket out of the ocean and thinks they can also scoop up the flow. People who think they can scoop up the flow are people who win the lottery and lose all their money. They couldn't scoop up the flow, which is this principle of unlimited supply. You're never out. You're never transactional. There's no debt. There's no surplus. Excuse me, there's just love. Without a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you're not in debt. You're not missing anything. So this idea of there's nothing missing, that means the place of fulfillment. You're appreciating and appraising the value of life right there. And every time you give, it's simply because it's a spontaneous, whimsical, frivolous, if we had piles of Monopoly money, and so take this, take all this, just give it Monopoly money, but real money, no, that's a different thing. That means something. So you either value the money or you value what is valuable. You appreciate. You see? You appreciate what it costs or what it is giving to you. You have to look at that. A lot of people, I'm here in Florida, and we have a cultish relationship with Publix, and Publix is notoriously expensive. And I don't go in there and thinking Publix is ripping me off. The floors are clean. The produce is impeccable. The service is beautiful. They're not robbing me. Look at all the stuff I get. I get a basket full of glorious food. They get my measly dollars. To me, it seems like they get the short end of the stick. I get the real value. Or more or less, it's a circulation principle. So, it's not that your neighbor's cheating you, or that the grocery store is robbing you, or that the car dealership is ripping you off. It's that you are cheating them. That you're being a cheapskate. And generosity is frivolous and playful and spontaneous. Don't give anything if you think you're going to get something back. That's transactional. That's mechanistic. That's what higher education is. That's why I got out of it, to tell you the truth. Nobody gave of themselves. They were sitting there with their palms out and said, where's my diploma? What do I need for the test? Just give me that. Total mechanized spontaneity, if you will. We've lost the whimsy of learning. Curiosity. That's a whole different topic. But the principle of unlimited supply is that you are awakened to the notion that you are not just a wave on the ocean, but you are fundamentally the ocean, and it's a drop in the bucket. You don't tip out of obligation. If you don't want to tip your barista, don't do it. You tip joyfully, or don't go to the coffee house. You see? See, this whole tipping culture, everybody's making everybody do something. The government makes you pay taxes, and you see how disgruntled everybody is? I have a feeling that if taxes were voluntary, we'd pay off the debt. If people who wanted to pay taxes did, we'd probably collect more taxes. But this forcing yourself to do it, that's not giving. Forcing yourself to return a favor, that's not receiving either. There's no forcing. If you give me something, I'll say thank you. But I'm not going to force myself to give you something back. If I feel that wonderful spontaneous nature to do something in return, I shall. But I don't have to, you see. This is non-obligatory. If you want to scratch my back, I'll gladly let you. But I do not have any debt to you because you did that to me. You see? So if your giving is obligatory or because you feel sorry for somebody, that's actually guilty. You're guilty. Now there's debt. Now there's something to pay for. Now there's transaction. And I don't think that that's a healthy way. True giving will come when your eyes are open and you realize the unlimited supply, the law of flow. The vast oceanic depth within you is called not a resource, which is what money is, but resourcefulness. And you won't run out of ideas. You won't run out of creativity. You won't run. I'm 50 years old. If I live to be 88 or whatever, maybe 90, I'll make a video every single day. I have not run out of ideas yet, and I have almost 200 videos. That's the law of unlimited supply. It keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. So I'm giving away these videos. I've got the notion is there's plenty more where that came from. I know where I came from. So it's a drop in the bucket. I came from the ocean. So everything I give is a drop in the bucket. Everything I receive is a drop in the bucket. It's all frivolous. You can take a wheelbarrow to the ocean. You can take a Olympic-sized swimming pool to the ocean. You can take the entire, all of the swimming pools in the United States and fill them up with the ocean, and the ocean won't notice it. That's who I am. The law of unlimited supply is give and receive freely, whimsically. Because nothing is mine. There's no possessiveness to it. There's no friction in it. So, the way to do this is perhaps maybe you can thank your parents for training you to give. Put your little money in the envelope. Tithing is a training wheel kind of thing. But eventually, it has to become a thing that you enjoy doing. And that you express the love that's already in your heart, the fullness in your heart. And if you want to give to somebody that really surprises somebody, give to somebody who's rich. Now that is what nobody's doing. I've said this before. My friends, one of them's a retired pediatrician. When they take me out to dinner, I'm paying. They've got millions. I don't have millions. I'm paying. Because I want to. And they don't understand that. You're not working. Why are you paying? Because I'm just as rich as you. If the ocean pays, it's fine if the ocean pays. You see? So if the ocean gives you something, it's just as good as the ocean giving you something. Equality. There's no debt. There's no surplus. There's no overage. There's no ledger sheet. Existence is completely free and clear. And you give from the heart. You speak from the heart. You do from the heart. And if somebody tells you no, that's fine. You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. That's called keeping your karma clean. And I don't even like the word karma necessarily. I like just getting off of the idea of and that existence is free. Existence is innocent. So there's no friction. It's appraisal. It's appreciation. Rethink appreciation as my house is appreciating. The value is being raised in everything, especially in you. And from there, you touch the oceanic depths of unlimited supply, and you're like, well, hell. Most people think of it the other way around. Well, if I had some money, I'd be generous. You got the ocean. You can give everything. Give everything to the ocean. If you think about it like that. When you pay the plumber, you're coming from the ocean. Because you're getting great plumbing service. The guy who just built my deck, I gave him an extra money for all the extra. It's beautiful. And he did a little extra for me. It's like, whoa. That's the principle of unlimited supply, is that it just, it can get out of hand. The same way as lack can get out of hand, you can go further and further and further and further into lack until you're buried in it. But this is an immediate revelation that if you give honestly, you receive honestly, and you stop resisting when it's time to pay bills and it's all this stuff. You see, that's the principle of unlimited supply. It's greasy. And there's no imbalance. It's all coming from a place of fullness anyway. My name is Ryan Hebert. I hope you enjoyed these insights. I would encourage you to check out my blog. It's called mymorningmotivator.com.